Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So, first things first, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. And, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below when complete. So as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, today I am bringing y'all the top 3 most rare unseen builds on NBA 2K22 current gen, and the first build that I got coming at y'all is definitely going to be one that you are definitely going to want to be using if you are looking to go after the rare build movement. Now, as y'all can see, when it comes down to the physical profile, I'm going to go with the one with the 66 speed, 63 acceleration with a 76 vertical. Now, just to go ahead and let y'all know, be sure to follow along with each and every individual stat that I put on for all 3 of these builds. Now, when it comes down to the finishing, as you can see, we're going to be able to get up to 15 finishing badges. Then, once we go ahead and get into the shooting, we're going to be able to actually get a good amount of badges. It really depends on how many badges you want to work with here, but I'm going to make the build to where I get 20 at least. Now, for the playmaking, I'm going to go ahead and put the pass accuracy up to a 70. Ball handle maxed out with a 42 post control for a total of 7 playmaking badges. Then, once we go ahead and get into the defensive end, we're pretty much going to throw the rest of the stats into this area of the build. And as you can see, already making a good amount of adjustments when it comes down to spreading the wealth on all 4 areas of the build between the finishing, shooting, playmaking, and the defensive end. So, if you feel like making any adjustments, as you can see right here, you can make it to where you get 24 shooting badges in total. Of course, the mid-range shot is going to be dropped down, so it really comes down to what you want to work with on this build, but both options are really going to come out to the same build name. Now, when it comes down to the height, this is preferably going to be based off of your own preference. I'm going to go with the 6'7" instead of 6'8". Then, when it comes down to the weight, I feel like 181 is going to be perfect. And now, let's go ahead and check out what the wingspan is going to be looking like. So as you can see right here, if we leave it as is, you're still going to be able to get some pretty good shooting badges, but also finishing. And with the playmaking takeover, we're going to be able to speed boost and break ankles. Then also, if you go ahead and make this build a little bit differently to where you do adjust the shooting badges, this really is another way that you can go about it to upgrade the mid-range to be a little bit more effective in that area of the build. This is the way that I would definitely go ahead about making this build. However, if you feel like keeping it as is, go ahead and base it off of your own preference. But right here, we're going to be able to get that shot creating takeover, so we get a shot creating boost for the shooting as well as the ability to break ankles. I'm going to go with the sharpshooting takeover just to go with the build name. And as y'all can see, we have made the 3-point power forward build. And I'm telling you, the next build that I got lined up for y'all is definitely going to be another special one that I have in store. Now, if you made it this far, we are already about to get more than halfway through the video, and y'all still have not hit that like button. So what I need y'all to go ahead and do, be sure to go ahead and hit that sub button if you're new. And if you do hit that like button, drop a comment down below at which of these 3 builds do you feel like you're going to be making. And on top of all that, do not forget to hit on post notifications, because I'm uploading every single day and I do not want y'all to miss any type of uploads that I'm bringing to y'all. Now, something that I do want to know from every single person who is still watching: what kind of build are you using right now currently on the season that we are in when it comes down to 2K? And also, how many builds have you made in total this year? Now, if I'm being real with y'all, I have easily made over about 200 to 300 different builds, making them back and forth, trying to find the best possible stats. So that is why I say I am uploading every single day, dropping a new build, a new type of video. So always know that I got y'all right. But as you can see, let's go ahead and get back into the making of this second build that I got lined up for y'all. So let's go ahead and take a look at the physical profile. With this one, we are actually going to be able to get a pretty nice vertical and speed if you do decide to go with the 4th physical profile overall. But if you want to, you can definitely go with the first one for the fastest speed. I'm just telling you right now, this is the one that I enjoy most with this specific build making. Now, for the finishing, we're going to be able to get a good amount of badges in each area of this build. So for the finishing, we're maxing out the first 3 categories, then going with a 31 standing dunk, and that's going to allow us to get 9 total finishing badges. Then for the shooting, I'm going to max out that mid-range shot, 3-pointer, free throw, and put that post play to a 41. That's going to give us a total of 8 shooting badges, and for me, that is going to be perfect. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm going to go ahead and put that pass accuracy to an 85, max out our ball handle, and that's going to give us a total of 20 badges. Now let's go ahead and check out the defensive end. I'm maxing out my perimeter defense, lateral quickness, as well as the steal. Then go ahead and max out that defensive rebound, and then for the rest of the attributes, put them into your block or any area of your choosing, and that's going to give you another total of 20 extra badges. For the body shape, this comes down to what you want to pick, but to take up the most space, go with built or burly. Now, as for the height on this build, you have a couple different options that you can go with, but to make this build the very best possible and get the best animations as well, go ahead and follow along with what I'm showing y'all, and I promise you everything is going to work out in your favor. For the weight, I'm going to go with 191. Then when it comes down to the wingspan, something that you really have to pay attention to is going to be the finishing on this build, and if you do go with 89.0, that's going to give us the ability to get all of the contact dunks on this build. Now for some reason, if you do decide to go with anything lower than an 89 wingspan, you can go ahead and do it, but again, you're not going to be able to make the best possible build with this exact wingspan. So as you can see with the takeovers, we get the lockdown, playmaking, and the slashing to get even more contact dunks. I'm going to leave it up to y'all, and I'm going to go with the lockdown takeover. And as y'all can see, we have made the two-way pass first point with contact dunks, and I like the comparison of Lonzo Ball as well as LaMelo Ball. Now we got one final build lined up for y'all, and I'm telling you, the builds only continue to get even better. So let's go ahead and just say, for this last one, I saved the best for last, and out of all 3 builds, I really want y'all to know, which one do you feel like is going to be the best overall just to pick up and use and find success with? But also, which one do you feel like you like the most out of all 3 of them? And which one is the most rare? Now for this last one, I got the stretch rebounder, aka the pure rebounder build. And the reason why I call it a stretch rebounder is because on this build, you're going to be able to shoot just as good as a stretch big, but have some really good defensive stats and have an even better build name. So for this last one, just be sure to sit back and relax, and know more importantly that I want to continue to grow the Rich Gang family, and I appreciate everyone who made it this far into the video, the very last build. So if you are still watching, be sure to go ahead and comment down below RGF or Rich Gang family, so I know who the real loyals are. Now once we go ahead and get into the making of this build, as you can see, the pie chart that you're going to be able to work with is honestly going to be one split right down the middle with the defensive end as well as the shooting, the red, and also the green. Now once we go ahead and get into the physical profile, you have a couple different options to pick from, but for my liking, it's going to be between the very first one as well as the fourth. And the reason why I tend to go with the fourth one on most builds is because you get a much higher vertical and you only take about a -3 hit to your speed and acceleration. Now for my liking, you get a huge boost on the vertical, which is going to be a huge W, about at least a +10 to your vert at that. Now let's go ahead and check out the defensive end on this build. As you can see, we're going to be able to get a total of 21 defensive badges here. Then once we go ahead and get into the shooting, I'm going to max out that 3-pointer, free throw, and the mid-range shot. Then the rest of the attributes, if you want to, you can definitely upgrade your post fade. That's going to put us at a total of 15 shooting badges. Remember, each area of this build is very specific, so make sure that you're following along with the stats that I do decide to put on in each area of the build. For the finishing, to clear it out, we're going to go with 9 badges right here. Now again, remember, if you do want to put anything into the playmaking, you have to be very careful because that gives a tendency to change the build name. Now for the body shape, like I said, always go with burly or built for this one if you want to take up the most space for defensive purposes, but if you don't care about that, I would go with defined. Now when it comes down to the weight and the height, these are very crucial parts about this build. For the weight and the height, I'm going to be going with 6'7". Now once we go ahead and get into the weight, you definitely want to go ahead and go with the lowest at least, or you can definitely go ahead and base it off of what you like the actual physicals to be looking like. Now for my liking, just to be simple, you can definitely just leave it at the lowest minimum possible. And finally, for the wingspan, this really comes down to what you want to risk. So if you really wanted to, you can go back and forth with trying out every single wingspan weight, or even if you wanted to, changing up the height just to maintain the build name. So as you can see, the sharpshooting, rim protecting, glass cleaning, and slashing. And man, if you made it to the end, just know y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, turn on post notifications, and hit that like button to join the Rich Gang family, and leave a comment down below when complete. For the takeover, I'm going to go with the sharpshooting, and as y'all can see, we have made the pure rebounder build name, aka the stretch rebounder. I love y'all, I thank y'all, thank you God for this opportunity, and man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Thank God, and Rich out.